This is Stars and Scopes with your friend Uma, updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, take a look at your rising sign first if you know it, and do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're interested in your birth chart, check out the readings page at umaruby.com. And if you'd like to support the work, head over to buymeacoffee.com/umaruby and you can buy me a coffee. Finally, if you're a visual learner, look up Uma Ruby Tarot on YouTube and you can watch and learn. Okay, let's take a look. Hello Taurus and Taurus rising. Welcome to your horoscope for the full moon in Aries, happening on Monday, October the 10th at 7:55 a.m. if you're in the southern hemisphere with me. So as far as your full moon ritual, I suggest you do it the night before on the Sunday. You'll get a good full lunation, a good bathe in that lunar glow and a moment to release and to give back to her what you don't need anymore. So let's talk about your unconscious. Let's talk about the space between worlds. What's beyond the veil for you? What has your dreamscape been painting over this last bit of time? And what would you like to ask of that space? When there's a full moon in your 12th house, which is what's happening here, Aries rules the 12th for you, Taurus. It's wild what happens to us in dreamland. I've come to learn that really precisely. Whenever there's a full moon in Aquarius, for me, it's like, it's quite literal. I could write a shopping list from those dreams. But let's think about this. So Libra, that's where the sun is. The sun's been there for some time, and Venus is just tippy-toeing up to meet the sun too. So Venus is perfectly, beautifully happy in Libra. They excel in that space of balance and harmony. Remember that musicality we talked about of Libra? So these two energies are shooting down to the moon, and the moon's reflecting back to us all of that lovely, lovely, beautiful, harmonic energy. And also the moon is in a conjunction, which means close together, with Chiron. Now we've spoken about Chiron before. Chiron is our minor planet of healing. The wounded healer is the mythology behind Chiron. And so I wonder if there's some things that are coming to light for you, some maybe abstract connector points that you could find in your dreamland, or perhaps in the way that you feel that you're connected in some way to other folks. Do you have a secret language maybe with other people in your life? Is there a way that you can feel connected to them even if you're not in a physical space? The 12th has a lot of connotations. Some periods of history have the 12th as related to incarceration because perhaps of some of the intensity of the unconscious landscape and how different folks are able to deal or not deal with that space. But I feel for you, Taurus, that because it's an Aries house, because there is a real confidence in your 12th, I like that there's a confidence that I feel that you might have with the unconscious space, with that dimension. So if there's been any difficulty there, if you've been feeling that your intuition's been rumbling or that you've got a sixth sense about something, it would be really great to address that with this moon and to potentially let go if there's any fear attached to that, or if there's any uncomfortableness, or if there's any guilt or worry. It's so interesting to do these horoscopes during this time on the planet. And I think in a lot of ways, this is, I guess, my way of trying to be of best help during some of the more difficult confrontations that we've been experiencing as a group, as human beings. And I think that the 12th house is the house that really can connect us together. If feeling isolated or feeling separate or feeling ostracized in some sense, the 12th house is a great reminder of the connector points, the connectivity between all of us, and the access portal that we have to that world is often through our dreams. What else is happening? So Pluto has just stationed direct, which is great. Pluto's been retrograde for the last 5 months. They often, Pluto, it's not uncommon for Pluto. They spend 6 months of the year in their retrograde position, and they move very slowly around the zodiac. But this is progress as in terms of revolution, in terms of transformation. So Pluto in Capricorn, for you, that is the 9th house. That's the house of higher learning, and the house of philosophy and publishing and travel and mind expansion. So I think we can work with that energy of that potentiality for further progress, maybe into your spiritual study, or maybe into your, I guess, sharing of your transformation. What has been changing for you over this bit of time, Taurus? What's shifted? And what would you like to, on what levels would you like to express that? Pluto is also forming a lovely trine with Mercury, who is also stationed direct very recently. So over the last 3 weeks, there has been short circuits, there's been misunderstandings, there's perhaps been, technical problems, whatever, but it was also a real invitation to go over some of the information that we've been absorbing. So in your creative body, in your artist, the way that you're expressing yourself, what messages are feeling ready to bring forward? And do they have anything to do with your health? Do they have anything to do with your daily rhythms? Do they have anything to do with the way that you ritualize a day? And to what benefit can your creativity perhaps play more of an integral role in that space? Is there a way to meld these two? What can you bring from your artist into your daily ritual so as to keep that fire burning, keep that relationship healthy? There's a lot of power with this full moon, Taurus, this time around. It's a fire moon, and it's it's the first full moon of the changed season, so it's setting us up. Something's about to move. I see this in your tarot. I wanted to mention as well, there is another trine between Mars, Saturn, and the Sun. So the Sun's in Libra, the Sun's in your 6th house of the ritual, and it's trining the boundaries, perhaps the constriction, possibly, of your most public face, how you've been perceived so far, and if there's been any shackles that have been put on that, or if there's been any or healthy boundaries perhaps that you've had to set. This is probably what this is looking like in terms of your career, your most public self, how you're perceived in this world, and also your talents and your skills and your access to material wealth. There's there's a forward movement, there's a backwards, I feel that there's some sort of tempered flame here as far as your access to cash or to growth. There's going to still be a lot of fire, a lot of movement in that space over the next 6 months, but there's something here in this lunation at this moment, and possibly with this reckoning of your unconscious self, there is a nice dance and balance and support happening here in your daily rhythms, your public face, and your material wealth. I feel that this is almost like some sort of, and not forever, but at the moment, perhaps things are feeling in balance, perhaps things are feeling supported or supportive of one another, maybe for you. I'm going to show you the tarot that I pulled out now in the intro. So I got the Wheel of Fortune. So this says to me, brand new chapter is about to begin for you, Taurus, a brand new beginning, a brand new trip around the wheel. I've also got a lot of fixed energy here, which is where this support is happening. I hasten to... Let's go with it. Let's go with it. I got the Ace of Cups. I got the Knight of Wands and the Seven of Swords. I see some sort of offer, some sort of blessing, some sort of emotional new start for you, Taurus. As things are beginning to feel balanced, as the retrograde period of Mercury, as they're stationing direct, as we can get clarity in the way that our intelligence and information is translated, I think that there's going to be something fresh and there's going to be something hopeful as far as your emotional connectivity. There's something here that's being offered to you. And I wonder if you can figure out what that is. It might have something to do with someone with a lot of confidence. Perhaps you're in company with someone who is moving really quickly or is quite passionate, has a lot of interest and a lot to say to you about their emotions, about how they've been feeling, potentially about you. I also get this sense that you're going to have to practice some boundaries as well. You're going to have to protect what you've been working on so hard. I think that maybe this might be a message for you, Taurus, that as much as fire energy, it's an Aries full moon, as much as that fire energy is palpable and beautiful and helpful for perhaps a sign that likes to take their time, perhaps a sign that likes to languish maybe in the daily rhythm, or in fixing a sandwich, or in reading a book. There's an offer coming your way, Taurus. There's an offer coming your way, and it's got a lot to do with emotions, and it's up to you if you're willing to accept it, if you're willing to go with it, and if you want to move with this, or if you want to say no thank you. Great, but I'm actually just getting myself re-established. I've had a lot of upheaval lately. I've had a lot of things that have moved in my life. And as much as this attention or as much as this opportunity might seem flattering, this is what's going on here. As much as this might seem flattering, I actually am really looking forward to hunkering down for the minute, especially as we enter eclipse season. So the next lunation that we have in 2 weeks is the solar eclipse in Scorpio, which is affecting your 7th house of relationships, of lovers and close work colleagues and soulmates and things like that. So there's going to be some external movement. There's going to be some karmic, if you want to use that word, contribution to your 7th house. And then there'll be a lunar eclipse in your 1st house, your house of the soul. So you've actually, probably because Saturn's in that trine as well, that boundary setting that we've been talking so much about this year, that idea of recognizing that your needs deserve to be respected and protected, and that you can mix and help and be amongst it all, but with a healthy boundary. There's certain things that you don't need to take on anymore, maybe to do with your public self or your career, could be. But I think this is perhaps a bit of a predictive message to say that something really bright and beautiful and full of potential and will hit you on an emotional level. There'll be some sort of like pang there that's like, oh God, that feels really great, from someone who is really gregarious, really quick to move. I wonder if now is the time, or if this, and if it's not, then perhaps the conversation to be had with this Knight of Fire is let's be like Saturn and let's take a rain check. I will give you a call when I've checked my schedule and when we're out of eclipse season. Maybe you can say that. Use that language. Be like, look, we're coming up to eclipses. I'm in chaos. It's my first house and my seventh house. That's really lovely, and I really feel it, and it's really like gorge and beautiful. Thank you. It's what I need. That sort of salve, and it has the potential for starting a brand new. I don't know if you're in that space, Taurus, to be receiving a brand new cycle, of intimacy with someone that cares a lot about you. Hello, darling. Oh. Jake's just come to say hello. We'll finish the reading together. So, I've just completely lost what I was saying. We were talking about boundaries, weren't we? Which you know nothing about, which I love. But yeah, I think let's look ahead, Taurus, to the eclipses that are coming up over this next month. So in terms of beginning something emotional or beginning something that has a lot of intimacy attached to it, this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This could be a work relationship, or this could be, a friendship or an old friendship that's come back around again. That wheel is turned, and there's space in your lives, it seems, to get back together. Maybe let's cool it for the moment, just so you can reroute yourself. Maybe some of this 12th house energy, this 12th house lunar energy has you has you feeling a bit ungrounded. And maybe it's a good time to ground, as we enter the chaos of eclipses. Gee, I hope that made sense, Taurus. I completely lost my train of thought because of this little angel. But that's your reading. Welcome. Head over to umaruby.com. I can read your birth chart if you wish. There's a menu there under the readings page. And if I've read your chart before and you would like another session, I am writing a soul guidance session for return clients. It's been brought up near every reading that I've had just for this last week. Everyone seems to want to make plans to go again. So I'll be writing a soul guidance session for folks that I know, that I'm familiar with their charts. But if you're a newbie, please head to the readings page and pick the one you like. Much love to you. Full moon blessings from me and from Jake. And I'll speak to you in 2 weeks for the solar eclipse in Scorpio, which is your 7th house. So something to prepare for. Absolutely. Say bye. Say bye. Say bye. Do you want to say bye? No? Okay.